What up, traders? What up, investors? Sorry for the shirt here. I had to wear a nice shirt because I had to do a conference call for my main job for work on explaining on how email hacking works. But anyways, that completely to the side and really going into the charts here. We're going to be basically doing kind of shooting from the hip here and really just going to be looking at some charts in real time. The market has been open for almost an hour now here on the East Coast. It's around 10:20 here on the day before Christmas Eve. Or the day before Christmas Eve. So it'd be Christmas Eve. Anyways, I'm going to go and kind of rocket in here. I've been up for quite a bit. We're going to just be jumping in some charts, just discussing some ideas that are kind of dwindling around in my brain. Some things I'm just going to spew out. So a couple things that I'll be going through. All these charts, which I will be showing you, I have a position in. And this is just for kind of giving you an idea on what you should be looking for, what I'm looking for, and things like that. This is not any kind of sense of way of me telling you to go out and buy this and for whatever reasons. Again, I'm just trying to help people learn charts, maybe learn the market, and maybe make a decent little side hustle, even a career out of it. So that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into the charts. Let me get my pretty face away here and just go right in here to the charts. We're looking at pins. Pins, that is Pinterest for you, everyone. This stock has been finally kind of breaking out here a little bit. Not going to be sending the alarm and just raising the flag quite yet. We are seeing, again, we had that really tight consolidation here, basically for the past almost like 3 weeks here, which is, there's a nice saying, I think, within IMDb, where it's basically 3 weeks tight, really making that strong base that we talk about quite a bit here. We saw that really come across here. Never broke below the 21 EMA, which is, again, somewhat of the standards that we use here on the 21 EMA on the daily chart here, and it didn't break below that. Did hit a little bit of chop with kind of knocking around the purple parabolic SAR dot, say that 5 times real fast, and finally breaking into all-time highs above 72.88, with, again, today being at 75.44. Again, still a lot more time in trading today, so don't be running out and just buying this, YOLOing it onto your full account. We also have low volume, which I kind of like to see. We have the squeeze setting up. We have the RSI band here on the bottom, kind of printing higher. And what I like a lot here is the volume zone oscillator, which is going from negative into positive territory. So this is, again, ensuing that we were going to see some higher prices. So Ken, you're talking about pins all this time. Like, what are you looking for pins? I'm looking for pins to initially hit $90, or to be more precise, $89.83. It's going to be my first target for pins at that level. Again, not keeping it too short of a leash. This is a much more longer data position for me, with buying of leaps, within call leaps being well over a year out. With that being said, looking for that $90 target, with the real target being 100 to 110. And that's where I would initially start taking a little bit of profit on the table, depending on, again, I'm not saying it's going to hit 100 tomorrow. I'm not saying it's hitting 100 tomorrow in the beginning of next year. It's going to take a little bit of time. Again, I'm playing really on the next potentially run up into earnings, and then playing it from after that into the summertime, because, again, Pinterest has proven itself during the pandemic on being a great way for people to market and really allow users to do creative stuff at home. So this is, again, I really like this chart. I like the company. I think it has a lot of potential, so that's me. So on the flip side, going into another competitor, I guess a competitor that kind of in the same market, Snapchat. Make fun of it all you want. I've actually used it once in my life. A friend went to Thailand and I wanted to make sure he was okay. So this is a crazy story. So I downloaded Snap so I could make sure he was okay. I don't know why we didn't use email or Messenger, but for some reason I wanted to try out. This is like many years ago. And he would snap his experiences, of course, sharing with other hundreds of people that he has following him, and it's got a little bit inappropriate. So I was like, all right, dude, you seem like you're just fine. I'm just going to get rid of the app, and I haven't touched it since. That probably was like 2015 or 2016. Anyways, that being said, I don't know why I went on a tangent there on that side story there, but we're still seeing some nice chart pattern here as well. With its last quarter, literally shooting the lights out. I wish I can shoot my lights out. I'm doing a lot of hip references and Western references here with shooting from the hip, shooting the lights out, all kinds of things. They're raising the bar. They're chugging along. They're going right up the canal. They're building a bridge here or they're really building a ladder here into potentially running up to $63.23. Some initial support is going to be down to the 21 EMA, which can be around like $50. We've seen it bounce here quite a bit, a little bit, kind of not as tight as a pattern as we saw with like Pinterest just now. It's only been tight for a little bit here, but on looking here on the week, oh, so this is the monthly. Hold on the weekly chart, like look at that huge takeoff. This thing has been fantastic. This would be actually somewhat normal to get a pretty steep pullback around $46 to $47. That would be really within the cards, to be quite honest, because it has had such a run within the stock here. So that's another one idea there. Another one that I like been looking at is the boring banks. Yes, JP Morgan, whatever. They steal your money. We don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. They control the world, whatever. The banks or whatever it is. If it makes us a couple bucks, let's go for it. With that being said, JP Morgan, again, bouncing off the 21 EMA twice now and looking for some potential short-term targets above 127 to potentially 130. Initial support to the downside is going to be around 118 to 117.20 to the downside. Again, this is a bank company, so there's not going to be like a Tesla or anything on that spectrum where it's going to move 10 or 15% in a day unless they come out and they do some fraudulent charges or something like that. This is a little bit more of a safer play. I'm doing air quotes if you don't see me on the bottom corner here on that particular ticker. With that being said, there is some other indicators that we're looking at here as well. I know I talked about it the other day, is Apple. Again, I'm not buying into this old Apple car until they actually say something, because again, we've heard this rumor for so many years, and I'm not going to be buying the stock just because of an Apple car, but it's been great. It's been in this very tight pattern here, bouncing off the 125 down to 110, and it's kind of been bouncing around like a ping pong ball we always talk about, but it finally broke out and it's closing above 130. If we see it above 130 close on this week here, I think that would be a great way for Apple to potentially see some higher prices. On the weekly chart, this is where it really screams buy for me. Again, not telling you to buy it. This is just me educating you and showing you what I'm looking on the chart patterns here. Beautiful cup. Like, this is a beautiful cup. I don't have my cup. Oh, here's my cup. Like a beautiful cup here. Just little whoop, little cup and handle here. Just setting up in place here and really seeing this potentially break above that, say above 130, and potentially test all-time highs at 137 with real targets around 150 to 160 within Apple. So it's also on the weekly chart. It's got a beautiful squeeze. RSI is looking fantastic. The only thing I'm a little bit hesitant about, which I don't put that much weight on, is the chicken money flow. I've been using that for a couple times in the past years on my charts. Kind of put it on my weekly chart to kind of gain on what could be happening here with a little bit of a lagger on this mover here on seeing how this one pans out for the Apple. The next one we're going to be talking about, let's just go ahead and just jump into a whole nother space. You see what I did there? As I can spell that, SPCE, right? Space. So this is Virgin Galactic. Again, one of the first SPACs I actually bought into way back when. This company has been absolutely just taking on a whole slew of different issues in the world, and just on that fact, and me being a huge nerd about space and just know of the unknown around us, I think this is going to be a fantastic thing because I'm not able to invest into SpaceX. So the next best thing is this. So with that being said, we're going to be looking for some initial support around $23 to $21. It bounced off that 50-day here a little bit here and kind of getting somewhat of a reversal. We are potentially wanting to see the 5 and 8 cross back over to the 21 EMA and potentially get some headwind or potentially some overhead resistance around $29 or $30 around that point as well. Again, with the overall target being well above 35 and potentially testing its all-time highs. Again, this is going to be a little bit more of a speculative play. You're really going to be looking at it's going to have some swing. So get ready for a bucking bronco here for this one. No, a really rough rocket and maybe a little bumps on the way. And next one I'm going to be jumping into is Expedia. Again, I'm not going to be, I might be late here. I'm drawing from the hip here, looking for this one to, again, travel stuffs are coming back, stimulus package, blah, 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 and looking for this potentially to kind of a little bit more of a longer term play and being safer, doing air quotes again. On a lot of the stocks that I own are very heavy growth in tech and cloud computing, AI, or electric cars or whatever. This is a little bit more steady Eddie, more even Stevens as they call it, and just really kind of steadfast here around 119 to 120, potentially some support there. If it does break below that, we could potentially see it to 115 to even 111. But if this holds, builds a nice little base here, if we're kind of seeing it kind of hold between the 21 to 34 EMA, we're going to be looking for 140 price targets to be the next overhead target there. And speaking of target, we're going to be going into Costco. Again, we have a lot of that stimulus money going out. They're saying initially $600 per person, and some people are throwing around the idea of $2,000 a person. And what do most people do when they get free money? Most people, I think, do the right thing and pay a bill or save it or whatever like that. But some folks go to Costco and buy a new TV or whatever. And I think that is really going to be true here to some extent. Not saying Costco is just going to rebound here and everyone's going to buy the brand new 60-inch Samsung TV, 4K TV with smart enabled Roku, which is going to be the next stock we're going to be talking about. Looking for some initial support here. It's been really beaten down. $360-ish is going to be the first level of support. If that breaks, we're going to be really looking for 350 to 353 to the downside. Because again, we do have, sadly, the 5 and 8 cross through of it, and really just kind of been somewhat petering off here and kind of bleeding here a little bit. And now is trying to kind of level off here potentially to see here. I'm not going to be running out and buying this one hand over fist. Just creating maybe a starter position potentially, looking for even some lower prices around 350. Some targets to the upside are going to be initially looking for potentially trying to break above 365, but then really looking for, again, 375 to 390 to be those targets. So last but not least, which we just talked about and kind of speculated about, is Roku. Yes, Roku is the king of stay at home, the king of just having a grand old time with the family or friends, of just watching your favorite television shows, whatever. They are the main provider in between that. And this thing has just been an absolute rocket ship. With that being said, it's been holding that 5 and 8 moving averages for at least 3 weeks. This is, again, coming down to, this has been very hot. It's been very hot to the touch. I want to be very careful with this. I don't want to be going out and just buying this hand over fist as well. Maybe putting it on your watch list. You can see here, I have some targets potentially to break 368. Again, this is really a strong Santa Claus holiday rally kind of stock that we're talking about here. Initially, short dated support. Again, that's going to be not very strong. Is going to be around 340. And if that breaks, we're going to be looking for potentially the 313 to 315. And then really, if everything just goes sour and we have the S&P 500 or NASDAQ do like a 5 to 7% correction, we can see it all the way down to that 265 to 250. So again, things move. Things have been very hot. Stocks just only go up. So be very mindful. Be careful out there, everyone. And I want to wish everyone a happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, and Godspeed to everyone. And thank you. Before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out the door. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.